Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Carain Yeung. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. 2 additional measles cases reported today, with both linked to the airport. Italy joins China's Belt and Road Initiative by signing Memorandum of Understanding. And England thrashed Czech Republic in Euro qualifier. Disinfection efforts have been stepped up at the airport after a string of measles cases were reported there, including 2 today. But the government said a large-scale measles outbreak remains unlikely in the city. Disinfection measures have been stepped up at the airport today after it was suspected to be the source of a measles outbreak. This worker, who assists passengers with self-service backdrops, said the company has provided them with surgical masks as a precaution. She added the machines and other facilities would be wiped down more often to eliminate germs. Airport workers are on high alert after authorities reported 2 additional cases of measles today, following 3 others yesterday. All of them had previously visited or worked at the airport. A 41-year-old man believed to be a Cathay Pacific pilot has become the latest victim. He developed a fever and a rash last week, and authorities said his incubation and communicable period matched those of 3 other cases from yesterday. The second victim today is an 11-month-old baby girl who had visited Taiwan during the incubation period. Both remained in stable condition in hospital. The highly contagious disease can be transmitted airborne or via contact with saliva and other bodily fluids. To contain the outbreak, the Center for Health Protection has set up a vaccination booth inside the airport's restricted area to provide measles shots to airport staff. Together with the latest cases, the city has recorded 19 measles infections this year, eclipsing last year's total of 15. The center's controller Wong Ka-hing did not rule out additional cases in the coming days. He urged travelers, especially those who visited areas plagued by a measles outbreak, should seek medical help immediately if they start to develop symptoms, including fever, coughing, runny nose, or rashes. But Food and Health Undersecretary Cho Tak-yi said a large-scale measles outbreak is unlikely in Hong Kong, given a relatively high immunity rate among the local population. Choi explained the older generation mostly developed immunity after contracting the disease earlier in their lives, while children have been vaccinated since the 1990s. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence expressed concerns with Hong Kong's human rights issues, according to former Chief Secretary Anson Chan, following their meeting in the White House. Riley Chan reports.
She might have stepped away from the government for years, but Anson Chan's influence is still evident. During her latest U.S. trip, the former chief secretary met U.S. Vice President Mike Pence this morning at the White House. Following the brief meeting, Chan quoted Pence as saying that the vice president was concerned with Hong Kong's human rights issues and freedoms. Now a government critic, Chan and pro-democracy lawmakers Charles Mock and Dennis Kwok had been invited by Washington to meet with senior National Security Council officials. A wide range of issues were discussed, such as democratic development in the city, the current proposal to amend the extradition laws, as well as the controversial decision to ban foreign journalist Victor Mallet from entering Hong Kong. The latest Hong Kong Policy Act report released by the State Department was also on the agenda. The report suggested keeping the U.S. Hong Kong Policy Act intact, meaning the city can continue to enjoy preferential economic trade and economic policies. Both sides agreed the Policy Act's fate largely depended on the integrity of the one country, two systems principle. Published on Thursday, the annual report said while Hong Kong remains autonomous from Beijing to a certain degree, such autonomy is diminishing as the tempo of Beijing intervening in Hong Kong's affairs has speeded up. But acting chief executive Matthew Yeung disagreed. Those remarks were biased, Yeung said. It is a common misunderstanding among Western countries to believe Hong Kong's autonomy is diminishing. He also rubbished claims that the city is losing its competitiveness, pointing out Hong Kong is rated as the world's freest economy for 25 consecutive years. A free economy depends on many factors, including the rule of law, which continues to be a cornerstone for the city's prosperity, he said. Riley Chen, HKIBC.
Kaohsiung Mayor Han Kuo-yu has denied selling out his people after his dinner in the liaison office last night sparked fears that the Taiwanese politician was mingling too closely with Beijing officials. The dinner with liaison office director Wang Qiming last night was pleasant, Kaohsiung Mayor Han Kuo-yu said. The rising star of the Beijing-friendly Kuomintang party revealed details of the meeting before leaving Hong Kong this morning. We talked about everything, from our work to ups and downs in our lives, our family, and also the future of Hong Kong and Kaohsiung, Han recalled. The Kaohsiung chief then traveled on the mega bridge to the second city of his regional tour, Macau. The first itinerary in the former Portuguese colony was a visit to government headquarters, where he met Macau Chief Executive Fernando Chui. But questions of his previous meeting with Wang continued to haunt him. The meeting, which took place amid strained relations between the governments of Taiwan and Beijing, had stoked fears that Han would sell out his people by cozying up to mainland officials. Even Taiwan's official Mainland Affairs Council has urged the Kaohsiung mayor to elaborate the meeting's motives and clean the air. Han finally hit back. I am here with our Kaohsiung government delegates, including 10 city councillors. How am I going to sell Kaohsiung out? All I want to sell are our fruits and fishery products, Han said, labeling the allegations preposterous. In the afternoon, Han presided over the signing of 730 million new Taiwan dollars worth of trade deals between Kaohsiung and Macau.